watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Happy New Year and welcome to Focus on Germantown. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mayor Mike Palazzolo, and it's my privilege to be your mayor and host. Each month, the focus is on city government, how it provides services, and works with you, our citizens, to make Germantown a great place to live. We will begin today's show by talking about the upcoming Battle of the Brains competition taking place next month on February 3rd. Education Commission member Mindy Fischer will be joining us to give us the scoop on this prestigious competition. Then Stephanie Brockway, director of the Germantown Education Foundation, will be dropping by to give us a little recap of the successful year the foundation has had and give us a look into what 2018 has in store. Finally, we will end today's show by talking about the Healthy Germantown initiative. Germantown, one of the few cities in the state that is recognized by Governor Bill Haslam as a healthier Tennessee community. Here to talk with us about all things healthy Germantown is Germantown Alderman Forrest Owens. But first, I'd like to welcome Mindy Fischer to the show. Welcome to the show, Mindy.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, it's great to have you. Give us a little bit of the history of Battle of the Brains.
Well, Battle of the Brains started in 2009, and there were some educators in Germantown that felt like there wasn't enough focus on STEM and wanted to encourage students to just think broadly and very just wide about the things that they can do and creative and solve different issues that face our society.
And help our folks, some people being in education in a certain sense, we all know what STEM means, but please share what that acronym stands for.
It's science, technology, engineering, and math, and sometimes it's said STEAM and they add art in there too. So it's coming up with innovative ideas, and there used to be like specific themes, but now we're talking about, you know, what can you do to make this world better or be more ecological and those sort of things. So,
well, here on the campus of Houston High, we know that the students here are very eager to participate in this, but is it only open to students at Houston High, or is it open to others?
No, it's students at Houston High School, at Germantown High School, and any high schoolers that live in the city of Germantown, including homeschoolers or students at private schools.
And I think in years past, there's also been the encouragement that some schools might only have a student or two, and they can come together as a team. So it's not necessarily School A against School B, it's a competition among the teams that formed.
Correct. So we could have a student in Houston who had friends that go to St. George's, and they could create a team together. So as long as they live in Germantown.
Great. And so give us a little bit of a flavor for past competitions, you know, maybe past projects, or you know, what did the students kind of work on together?
One of the most interesting projects that I remember from years ago was they had these koi fish in a tank, and they were filtering the water, and it was feeding the water, and the byproducts from the fish were feeding the plants. So it was really interesting how it was pumping the water from there and going into the plants and recycling that way.
So truly it's the inspiration of the student and the student group, and they can come up with an idea that may be applicable to a solution. Also, it may be environmental, it might have things to do with sustainability, but all STEM related. And so you mentioned it started in 2009. There's a trophy, I guess, the team gets to have.
There is a trophy that was donated by the Palazzolo family. You might know them.
I'm loosely associated with that group, yes.
So your father has been very instrumental in this and was one of the founders. He has such a passion for science and education, and he just wanted to really encourage that. in our students and our community so that it makes a better world.
And not to give him too much credit, there's several people
there were,
involved,
yes.
and also the competition is judged by, maybe you can help our viewers know how it's judged.
It's really neat because we get professors from the local universities to come and judge the students' projects. And every year they are blown away by the level of competition between the students. And last year we moved the actual event to Saturday so that students and families could participate and the public could come. And so it was in the lobby of the high school here, and it was such a success that we decided to do that again.
Now you have, this is an enterprise that's really, I guess, fostered by the Education Foundation, but you have some sponsors and some partners out in the community. Would you like to share some of those folks?
Yes, I would say Iberia Bank is the sponsor for this event, and this will be their 3rd year to sponsor with us, and we're just thrilled to have them. And it's just
prize
been a great
money
part.
associated as well?
Yes, if you win first place, each team member wins $300. I know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is there an adult division to enter the competition?
No, but...
Well, and you know, the Education Commission does so much work here, and you are the chair of that commission. Please, in the time we have left, just share a little bit about what the commission does for the rest of the year. This is just one of many projects.
Oh, yes. One of our biggest is we do Teacher of the Month and Student of the Month, and that is sponsored by Principal Toyota. And then at the end of the year, we have an education celebration, and we have the new Teacher of the Year, which is a first-year teacher, and the Teacher of the Year, which comes from the people who won the month. So, and
I know it's something that
excellence also.
Well, I know both awards are something they're both coveted and cherished. I know that we honor those recipients at each Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, and again, as you mentioned, at the education celebration at the end of the year, we have guest speaker, and I think it's something that I think the city of Germantown and our community readily embraces, that we really put a lot of value on public education. It's not just governing that does that, it's the volunteerism, parents, grandparents, educators, neighbors, businesses, all that kind of produces the product I think we see today.
Well, and one of the things I love about the Education Commission is, yes, we support the public schools, but we also support the private schools, and including our wonderful special schools that we have here, like Madonna and Memphis Oral School for the Deaf and Bodine. And so we celebrate all education in Germantown, and I'm really proud to be a part of that.
Wow. Well, thank you. What a great way to end a great interview. Thank you for being here today, Mindy. Germantown is home to some of the brightest and most innovative young minds. I look forward to the Battle of the Brains competition to see the excellent projects these students have prepared. When we come back, we will meet with the director of the Germantown Education Foundation, Stephanie Brockway. Back after this.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Focus on Germantown. The Germantown Education Foundation was established in 2006 as a not-for-profit corporation that raises funds to directly support the public education of children here in Germantown. With us now is the director of the Germantown Education Foundation, Stephanie Brockway. Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
You are no stranger to our show. We love having you here on the set talking about public education. We had our first guest talked about education as well with the Battle of the Brains. Kind of tell us a little bit about, you've had a very busy fall, so kind of tell the community what you've been working on and what the foundation has been working on.
Well, we just came off of our very first Oktoberfest this past November 4th. Very exciting, great for the community, lots of draw for the community. And then we were followed right behind that was Vesta Home Show. We were their charity of choice this year, and it was 3.5 weeks of lots and lots of folks coming through the door. And the foundation, we received $1 for every ticket.
Wow. Now, I know you were, the term is embedded in an organization. I think you were probably there at the Vesta Home Show more than any other resident or participant working the front gate, so to speak. And I know they had record crowds this year at Chapel Cove. We're very appreciative. Full disclosure, I'm a member of the Germantown Education Foundation. I'm a director on that board, and we're very appreciative of Vesta and the West Tennessee Home Builders for choosing us as the charity of choice. We haven't tabulated all the funds we've raised, but it'll be very significant for our Education Foundation. Going back to Oktoberfest a little bit, I'm very proud of your efforts and the community efforts with the inaugural Oktoberfest in Germantown. Give us a little flavor for the excitement that was had during that special day in Germantown.
It was a very special day, and it really truly was a community event with tons and tons of volunteers, very special people that stepped up, because it was a 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. event. And so that morning we kicked it off with a ceremonial keg tapping. We had an incredible chicken dance that there was a fantastic winner, by the way, and we had wonderful prizes. We had a best of the worst contest that was so much fun. Tons and tons of people, lots of community support, a big day. Even though it rained a little bit, we had an incredible hot air balloon and people were flocking to see that. And we are just excited that next year is going to be even better. We had incredible sponsors that we really could not have done this without them.
Well, great community partners, no doubt. You know, the Germantown Charity Horse Show will be celebrating its 70th year. I believe the Germantown Festival is at their 46th, their 7th year. And so there's always a year one. Oktoberfest had its year one, and I will say there was a great Oompa band from Chicago that really excited the crowd. We learned a lot about our German heritage. We had visitors from the German consulate from Washington, from Nashville, and from Jackson, Mississippi, I believe.
That's correct.
And so I know next year there's even more excitement about Oktoberfest as well. So that's kind of a recap of the fall of 2017, and though this show airs in January of 2018, what are some of the things that are on your plate for the new year?
Well, we have a wonderful race that comes up on the last Sunday in April, April 29th, and it'll be our 3rd year. It's our GMSD 5K and Color Run. We always start the day out with a festival around noon, and we have tons of vendors that come in, and it's all giveaways for our community. And then we start our 5K at 2 o'clock, and then right behind that is our favorite 1-mile color run where we throw 1,000 pounds of colors on our kiddos and our families, and it's just a great community event.
That all washes out, correct?
It all washes out every year.
Great. I was going to ask, because some people are not familiar with color runs, so maybe expand on that a little bit. How is that fun for some of the younger kids?
So what we do is we give them all little bitty packets when they first start the race, and they're able to throw this color. And really what it's made of is just cornstarch and a little bit of food coloring, and so it does come out. And then as they start that run, that 1-mile run, we have different stations that they run through, and we have every station is a specific color. So we have orange and blues and yellows, just something fun, and they bring their pets. We have dogs that run through it, and we just throw that color on them. And if they don't want to have the color, they can just kind of stay on the outside of it, but it's so much fun to see the pictures from years past. These kids have a great time. The parents, they bring towels, just set them in their cars, and they go home after that.
Well, and what I've noticed is that it's become much more of a festival and not just a race.
Correct.
And I know you have food trucks,
We do.
you have live entertainment. It's on our beautiful Wolf River Boulevard, Mayor Sharon Goldsworthy Parkway, and it really sets up nice for blocking that, staging a festival and a race. Please share a little bit about how our residents can get involved and maybe how the money is then shared back to the schools.
Absolutely. So when we get closer to the race, we will have lots of information out on social media and on our emails, and we'll send out, and you can register online for that. And you register for a specific school, and when you do, half of the proceeds go back to that individual school. So for instance, last year, Dogwood alone, we gave them almost a $10,000 check. It was wonderful to be able to do that. And back to the educational part, we like to highlight one of our favorite teachers. Our Teacher of the Year actually receives a new car lease for the year. It is something that we've done for 3 years now, thanks to Principal Toyota, and it's such a wonderful gesture of just appreciation to that teacher and the hard work that they do for our schools. We love giving half of the proceeds back to our families, our schools, and each parent and grandparent has that opportunity to register for their specific school.
Well, that's great. We look forward to participating in that event as well. Now, we as a foundation have rebranded something that was known at one time as Fill the Fountain. Now I believe it's called Friends of the Foundation. It's kind of built on the premise of the MLG&W +1, where you can add a certain amount of money to your monthly water bill. And so I know some of our residents will put $1, $5, $10. I think you even had a large contribution recently. So share a little bit more about this new, not new, but rebranded Friends of the Foundation.
We did. We wanted to rebrand it because truly people that are part of this program are friends of the foundation. This is a monthly contribution, and it's really painless because once you are a part of that, you really don't remember or you don't, it's not something that you see that comes out, you know, every single month. It's very, very minor, but you know, $5 a month can make an impact on education, and 100% of the proceeds goes back to Education Foundation. We did have a wonderful contributor that gave $50 a month, and that is just incredible. And we just are so appreciated, and that is a true friend of the foundation.
Wow, yeah, because that's $600 for the year, and I think the Friends of the Foundation have now produces somewhere around $20,000 a year for the foundation, and that can help offset some of the operating expenses so that even more money can go back into our school, our classrooms. Just quickly, we only have less than a minute left. Kind of set the stage for Treasure for Teachers. I know we're kind of a little bit off from that, but tell the people what that's about.
Well, actually, it's a year-round program, and I've had several people in the past 2 months that have actually contributed to that. So what we'll do is we're gearing up for next year. We give $120 to every single teacher in our district. This past year was 385 teachers. We partner with community. We partner with individuals that want to sponsor a teacher, and this year we had a lot of people that wanted to sponsor 5 teachers. So that was one at each school. And so you can go online to GermantownEducationFoundation.org any time of the year. And then in August, when we present them with their $120, they were able to have enough money and start, beginning of the money for their year for curriculum.
Wow, that is great. I really appreciate that information.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here today. After this short break, we will speak with Alderman Forrest Owens. Back after this.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back once again to Focus on Germantown. Here with us now is Alderman Forrest Owens. Hey, Forrest, how are you today?
Mayor, I'm great. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to be here.
Well, I am very excited about this interview because we're going to talk about healthy Germantown. We're going to talk about running and biking and walkability and all those things. So share with our viewers some of the accolades that we recently were given by the state of Tennessee, the governor's Healthy Tennessee Initiative. Share with us the good news.
Sure, I'd love to. As you are aware, Mayor, about 3 years ago, I guess it's been now, Germantown was awarded the pilot from the governor's office, Governor Haslam's Healthier Tennessee Communities program, and we were the first in West Tennessee to receive that. Well, now, fast forward 3 years later, and they have announced a new award, and we were the first recipient of the Healthiest Community in Tennessee Award. And we're so proud of that. That's just a whole lot of work that's been gone on from our Wellness Council to the volunteers to our races and our farm park and a myriad of things that have achieved that award for us.
Well, and you are the co-chair of the Wellness Council, along with our HR director, Steve Walensky, and about 25 or 30 community stakeholders. Kind of share a little bit about that first year. I mean, there was a whole lot, there are a lot of meetings, a lot of branding, other type things that got us to this awarding level.
Correct, and we were lucky. We had Serena Flowers, who is the West Tennessee representative from the governor's office. She was there kind of to guide us and to get us off the ground, if you will, and instruct us in how we could go. And we really did. We wanted to focus on branding, but as you know, the three tenets of our program, our Healthier Germantown program, are abstinence from tobacco, tobacco cessation, healthy eating, and physical activity. And what we've been trying to do through the Wellness Council and through the Healthier Germantown Community Program is to promote that within our city. We have so much infrastructure within the town, whether it be our bike lanes, our greenways, our Germantown Athletic Club, the farm park I mentioned earlier, just a whole array of things that we can utilize to create a better sense of wellness for our residents.
One of our best partners, GMSD, and it's appropriate we're on the campus of Houston High School, but really our elementary kids really stepped it up, literally, with the Walk Across Tennessee program. Share a little bit about that success on that program.
Sure, and so as a part of the Healthier Tennessee Communities program, we like to, or we need to continue to receive that status, put on events that encourage wellness. And we decided this year to participate in the Walk Across Tennessee program. It's a program in which you have teams of 5 that walk over a period of 5 weeks, 500 miles. And so although it sounds daunting when you put together your team and you really focus on it, it's encouraged. And the GMSD, as you mentioned, the GMSD kids participated on short notice. They did just a great job. We had some tremendous help from them in getting the miles that we were able to succeed with.
Yeah, and I believe Brian Fischer was very instrumental with GMSD. I think the community walked a total of about 65,000 miles, and more than a third of that, closer to 40%, was provided from our kids. Literally, the K through 5 grade levels. I presented some awards there, and the neatest thing about that, many of the teachers, especially 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, incorporated math learning with keeping up with their miles, because you didn't necessarily have to walk. You could go to lacrosse practice, or you could do things on the playground, or you could do things in a different way, and then you had to compute your miles. So there was curriculum lesson planning and the exercise of the mind and the body. So pretty neat for our community. Well, share a little bit about our Bike, Pedestrian, and Walkability Task Force. You've been busy because you co-chaired this as well. It was a task force with Steve Pretty, one of our residents, and you came up with some findings after 6 or 7 meetings, and share a little bit about that with the community.
Sure. We've got, as you're aware, a passionate group of cyclists and pedestrians who enjoy walking and enjoy walking safely on our greenways and paths. And so the Bicycle and Pedestrian Task Force, really, we just finished this past month and have some recommendations for our Board of Mayor and Aldermen to look at, and that includes connectivity, sort of connecting our central city as well as our parks, and then also safety. We want to encourage safety for our cyclists and our pedestrian friends. And so we're going to be coming to the board, or the recommendations to the board will be to improve some of our infrastructure so we can achieve that, and also to connect some of these places that I mentioned.
Well, it's a great segue. The Bike, Pedestrian, Walkability Task Force has made some recommendations to our consultants with Lotion Associates, because we're also doing comprehensive strategic park master planning. So share a little bit about that with the community.
Sure. I am the liaison to the Parks Commission, and not that I'm certainly excited about the past two items we mentioned, but this really is the biggest thing to happen in Germantown Parks since I've been here, and that's been 40 years. We have done a comprehensive master plan of all of our parks with a lot of citizen input, a lot of stakeholder input, and the consultants have come back now with recommendations for looking forward in the next 30 years, what we're going to be doing. And so those recommendations will be coming to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen here. I believe it's in the next month, January 8th, at our next meeting. And so very exciting things that we're going to be doing to look into the future for the future of Germantown Parks.
And literally every stakeholder that uses our park system, from all of the sports providers to our Germantown Charity Horse Show, Germantown Festival, all the users of the parks really came around the table together to kind of say, what do we want to see our parks look like in the next 20 to 50 years? And we've had a great run, so to speak, in our park system when you and I were kids growing up here, but now we need to look at what they're going to look like for the next couple of generations. So great work there. And we've got just about a minute or so left, kind of conclude a little bit about what's going on from a health standpoint in our city. I know we've got some 5Ks and some other things coming up as well that you're probably participating in.
Sure, and of course our annual Mayor's Cup is coming up, and this is the time every year when I come on this show and I issue my challenge, and I'll do that again to you. I don't know if you're going to be interested in your Couch to 5K participation this year, but I'll be running the half marathon, and I'd love to suggest that me and you do the 5K, I'll do the half marathon, and we'll see where we go. But it is March 11th at 7:30 in the morning. All right, I'm in on that, Forrest, and I'll issue the challenge back. A lot of our viewers and a lot of people know that you have two daughters that run cross country, and they're both very accomplished, so I just hope this year you're able to beat either one or both of them. I doubt that'll happen. Well, thank you for being here today, Forrest. Thanks. I'd like to thank all of my guests for being on the show today. I'd also like to thank you, the viewers, for taking the time to focus on Germantown. If you'd like more information about this or any of the other shows on Germantown Municipal Television, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. We'll see you when Focus on Germantown returns next month.